Hey, how's it going, everybody? Phlinger here, and Ragnarok has been out for a little bit, but you know what? Let's talk about today about how to get one of the best starts that you possibly can on this map. This map is absolutely massive and gorgeous, and there are so many cool different things that you can get on this map. Also, a wonderful play experience. So you know what? Let's figure out exactly how to do it, and let's jump right into it. All right, when you first start out on the map, I would recommend actually starting way up here in the very northwest area or northeast area of the map. You can start over here in Viking Bay. You're going to have a little bit harder time, but you know what? It is a good start. Also, this guide is going to be assuming that you have the basic principles of everything in Ark known. You know what the food, everything like that is, because I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to assume that you know how to play Ark. But we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about a bunch of other things. All right, so starting off up here in this area, what you want to do first, you want to start by gathering rocks, punching trees, doing all that stuff that you need to do. You do your best to get up to level 10 as quick as possible. All right, like with all standard things, what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to learn the stone pick and then the stone hatchet. And then you're going to want to craft these things, and then you're going to want to eventually jump into a campfire, and then also a suit of cloth armor. Make sure as well that you get yourself a torch. You're going to need one of these things because the highlands, they get a little bit cold. Once you have your basics up and going, you can craft up a couple spears, then work your way over here on this section of the beach, just right across from that island right there, and start working on getting yourself a little bit of hide. Remember, you're still trying to get towards level 10. Also, you can start looking for the sava root and carrots that spawn naturally in the highlands, but also make sure you have something to defend yourself. And as soon as you're able to, make sure you craft up a couple bolas. Start by taking out a few dillos, maybe a few dodos that you find on the shoreline. Anything to get that sweet hide. Once you have your hide, you can finish off your armor set, and then also make sure you get a few bolas. Bolas are going to be very, very helpful for you. And then from here, once you have this set up, and make sure you have your torch on your hotbar, because you're gonna need it. We're gonna be heading up into the highlands. Also, you want to make sure if you are looking to tame one of the little drakelings, if you have the pre-order for Lost Colony, you might want to have the torch on you just so where you can tame one of the little drakelings, because they do spawn up in this area and they will help you out quite early on. Now, the place we're going to be going to is up here along this area, and you'll notice there's going to be a bunch of equus. This is what we're looking for, and this is why we're trying to reach level 10 as quick as possible. Now, this right here is the area that we're trying to go to. This is what is commonly referred to as the farm. Now, when you get up here, before you go up that little hill right there, make sure there's no gigas or aloes up here, because they do spawn. And if you encounter one of those, well, yeah, you can always just run off the edge. You can lure them off the edge and then just let them eat you. And then come back and, yeah, just recraft your stuff. At this stage of the game, all your stuff is easily replaceable. All right, now this is what we're looking for up at the farm. This right here, these are the carrots right there. And they are all over in this area. They are also scattered all around the highlands as well, but this right here is a concentrated spot for them. And also you can get a bunch of sava root, i.e. potatoes, around here as well. So make sure you gather up quite a few of them. All right, now if you're having a really hard time finding it, even still, right here it is on the map. That's the farm. Now that we've got a bunch of carrots in our inventory and potatoes, remember the potatoes we can just use as food. These things right here will provide food and water for you. They're really, really good. The carrots, though, we are going to use these to tame ourselves an equus. Now, sometimes when you start up in Ragnarok, you'll notice that you've got a bunch of sheep, you've got a bunch of gigas, a bunch of aloes, but the equus aren't anywhere. Just give them time. Literally, that's it. It just takes a little bit of time sometimes for them to spawn. Then you hop on it once you click the ride, and then you just go for the ride of your life. as you passively tame the Equus. Stick with it, and trust me, it'll be yours. Just make sure you don't click any buttons except for feed whenever it pops up in the bottom right. Just like that one right there. And now that you've got an Equus, you've got one of the earliest, best tames that you can possibly get in the entire game. These guys are absolutely amazing. You can use these guys to gather up as much berries as you possibly want. Also, now that you've got one of these guys, now you want to start working your way towards a saddle. Also, you can use these guys in combination with your bolas to knock out just about anything. You can use these guys, and I would recommend that you do use these guys in tandem. Knock out Pteranodons and all sorts of stuff. See right there? We can now tame that guy very easily, so where we now have a flyer already ready. Yeah, just remember, it's their back kick, and when you're doing that, make sure that you pay very close attention to your stamina bar, because it will drain, and it is possible to actually knock out your horse while you're knocking things out. But if you use them responsibly and you're paying attention to that, you can knock out just about anything you want. Just make sure that, yeah, you don't go up against any aloes right away, because it's going to take you a lot of levels before you can do something like that. But now we need to be working our way towards the saddle, which is gathering up a bunch of hide, chitin, and some fiber. And then we can start getting a saddle on our Equus, where we can now use it as a mortar and pestle. Combine that with the various dead whales that you will find on the shore here, and I'm actually looking for one right now. You can get a whole bunch of spoiled meat from those whales that you can use in tandem with the Equus saddle and craft up a whole bunch of narcoberries and really give yourself quite a bit of narcotics early game, and then also a whole bunch of XP early game. Here's one of the dead whales right here, and make sure that if you're going for the spoiled meat, that you make sure you use your pick on these guys, because yeah, it helps out quite a bit. And you will get spoiled meat, oil, hide, and keratin from these guys, and it's a lot of it as well. If you want more things instead of, if you want more hide and more keratin, use a hatchet on it while you're harvesting these guys. But if you want more spoiled meat and oil, use a pick. Alright, so the Equus saddle also takes a smithy to unlock. Well, metal is actually really easy to find in the Highlands if you know what you're looking for. You can come up here into these bits up here, or there is a cave right up here. Now, if you go on the map right here to this river and you follow the river north, this river right here will actually guide you to several different things that you want. The first place it'll take you to is this little lake, river, pond, whatever, with the waterfall coming down. Behind that waterfall is a massive cave back there that nothing spawns inside there, and it is very safe if you want to set up a shelter where you're not going to get attacked and you don't have to keep your head on a swivel the entire time. Plus, there's tons of metal in there as well, so use that to your advantage. Now, once you have that, you can come up here, keep following the river north, right uphill, just continue following this river all the way up until it's the very start of it. And you'll have this tiny little cave that you can go inside of. Once you go inside of here, easy crystal to be had. And this is located right here on the map. I would recommend using this crystal right here to get your first spyglass up and going, and it'll help you out tremendously. Apparently, there's also more crystal that they recently added into inside of here. Alright, so this is the cave behind that waterfall I recommended you guys come into. there is a bunch of more crystal inside of here. That's good to know. Hey, I learn something new every day while doing these things. And once you've had your fill of the highlands, you can come down and use the resources that you gathered here to craft yourself a raft. And then from here, you can either use your flyer that you tamed earlier, or you can use the raft to casually and safely go all the way around the outside of the map, because on Ragnarok, no leads spawn on Ragnarok. So, as long as you aren't directly in the water, you are not going to have hardly any problems whatsoever. Now, I would encourage you, go out, spend some time, and find a place that you kind of like, and then just build there. You can even stay in the highlands if you want to, and, you know, live your best life out here as an Ark survivor. But let me cover some of the biomes that you are going to encounter. Down here on this southeastern edge, this right here is high desert. It's going to get very hot down here, and also you're going to be getting heat stroked unless if you plan accordingly. I would recommend high fortitude, and then also have a suit of desert cloth armor. Now, also, over here is more highlands area as well. It's kind of rocky. There's a castle right here if you're looking to have a pretty quick and easy base. You come right along this, and you cross this bridge. The castle is right there. It's a really easy spot that you can go to. Also, in the highlands, keep an eye out for lighthouses. There's one up here, and there's another one up here for pre-built structures. There's also a cave underneath this lighthouse over here that you can build in. Now, the volcano has a wyvern trench that runs right along here. If you are looking for early wyvern eggs, you can use your early pteranodon to get in there, get a wyvern egg, and get out. All right, over here is the volcano. It will erupt every once in a great while. So make sure that if you're farming on that and you see lava flowing, that you may have a bad time. Other than that, if the lava flow is black and it doesn't look like it is actively flowing, it's perfectly safe to get on there. Over here is another bit of highland, and yeah, this right here is right over by Viking Bay. This right here is the Ragnarok jungle. It gets pretty dense, but there's a lot of cool stuff over here. Here's the swamp over here. This right here is a massive canyon that's got a bunch of stuff in it. And then over here is more highland and cold area. Make sure if you're going into the center bit of snow, you plan accordingly. It is colder than most snow regions that you've encountered on other maps. It is called the murder snow for a reason. So just make sure that you plan accordingly before you go in there. A regular set of fur armor by itself is not enough. You're going to need a higher level fur armor. I would say at least probably journeyman or higher for all your pieces before you venture into there. But these ones right here are actually really good spots. Now that you figured out where you're going for a base, let's discuss where you can get some of the good early game resources that you're going to need along your journey. All right, the Highlands is an amazing source for mutton, and if you're looking to get a thylacoleo, there's no better place than here to actually come and grab a whole bunch of muttons where you can cook it and tame an early game thylacoleo. Also, if you're looking for really easy thylacoleos, or not easy, but easier thylacoleos, you can find them down along this stretch right along here very easily, and you don't have to worry about them pouncing on you out of the trees. If you're looking for charcoal, you can find it on the burnt trees on the edge of the volcano. Actually, quite a bit of it as well. So, yeah, quite a bit of it. And this is located right here on the map, and these trees are everywhere. Early oil, obsidian, and metal can be easily found right up here. Right there's a whole bunch of oil nodes, a whole bunch of obsidian nodes, and these rocks up here are just coated in metal. There is so much metal up in this area. And this right here is way up in the north. So if you want an easy source of this stuff early on that you don't even have to fight for, you can actually take a raft from here right over to here. And this right here is an amazing early game resource. Now, you're going to want to be able to get Silica Pearls, get cementing paste, and then also tame a Griffin, just like my flying thyla that I've got right here. Well, let's go figure out where to get those too. Some of the easiest early game beaver dams can be found right here on the map. Right here, just on the inside of this. Matter of fact, you can come around this way, and there's a pathway you can go up right up through here that'll bring you up inside of here. Now, if you're on a early game Pteranodon, I would recommend you just land on top of one of these things with your Pteranodon, so where you can hop off, grab the stuff, and then just take off, and then make sure you destroy the beaver dam before you leave, because it won't respawn anything else. But as long as you're on top of it and you're destroying it with your Pteranodon, you're not going to have any problems with beavers. It's pretty dang easy, just like this. Hop off. Open this up. All of them in the area are going to aggro, but they're not going to be able to climb up on top of this. And then we throw that like that. And then with a Pteranodon, you can actually just get right up like this and just destroy this without anything actually coming and harassing you at all. And there we go. Beaver dam cleared. Now, some of the best places to find griffins are right here, like right there. There's 3 of them. This one right here is right up here on the map, just right down below from where the beavers are. Also, there's another section over this way, right over here by the green obelisk. Now, there's usually a whole bunch of griffins right here, but apparently mine aren't spawning. There's 3 griffin spawns right here, and they are located right here on the map. Now, if in your travels you end up finding any of these boxes that look like this, you can crack them open and get all sorts of cool different things from them. That right there, I just got a sword, a crossbow, and 2 pikes. You can also get metal tools as well for your your hatchet and your pick pretty dang easily. If you're looking for aberration style mushrooms and fungal wood, they can be found off these trees. The ones right here that actually look like they have the fungal, see, handy dandy pointer, the fungal bits, the moss actually hanging off them inside of the swamp biome. And this is where you get your auric mushrooms, your agaric mushrooms, and your fungal wood. And this swamp right here is located way over here on the very far side. If you're looking for blue gems, you can find them in the snowy biomes. Usually on a lot of the peaks and the mountainsides, they look like this up here. This one right here is located on this mountain right here, way up here. Also, be careful, there's ice wyverns that do spawn up here. But yeah, this right here, these are the blue gems. There's also a massive area of herbivore-style islands over here that are kind of tucked away right below the swamp. There's the swamp I showed you just a second ago. There's a new area right there. And then these islands right there, those are herbivore-esque islands. Nothing carnivorous will spawn there. This island, and then this whole amount of islands right here. And that right there is a massive, deep crater that you can store all sorts of underwater stuff inside of. It's actually really, really good. Now, one thing I want to cover, if you are having problems accessing your Scorched Earth or Aberration Engrams, make sure you have those maps installed, load into them on single player, and then that will activate them on your account. That way there, or on your install, that way there when you play on Ragnarok, that you will actually, they will show up and you will have access to them. You just have to make sure that the maps are installed and you actually load into them. Make sure you load into them, not just install them. Also, another really good location for beaver dams and early game cementing paste and silica pearls is right here. This is located right below the green obelisk, right here in this little bit right there. It's really easy to find once you know what you're looking for. And once you eventually get higher up and you start looking for silica pearls there's a cave in here underneath by the Viking ship where you can find a whole bunch of silica pearls. Look for the cave by the bow of the Viking ship. And then also right down here in this little bit right here, there's a deep water trench in here. You're probably going to need a scuba tank or a turtle. Get down in there, and then with those, a scuba tank or a turtle, you can easily harvest up a whole ton of silica pearls in there. It's actually really easy, but you have to have a way of breathing before you can get down there. Alright, if you're looking for Carcinoses or Carcinos babies, here's actually a really good spot to find them. This is located right down here on the very southern edge of the map. There is a island down here with a cave, and inside the cave, well, guess what? There's a bunch of crabs. So if you're looking for finding either taming a Carcinos or being able to find a baby for one, you're going to have a really good luck here as well. Also, there's another cave underneath the castle, but that's really not early game stuff. If you're ready to go inside of there, then you're more into the mid to late game. But just so you know, if up here in this area, right up above here, there is a castle that sits right here on this area, and underneath it there is a massive set of cave system. One of the caves, matter of fact, the Silica Pearl cave I recommended for you from Viking Bay, ends up leading inside of here. Also, there's another entrance along the side of the cliff over here that will lead inside that as well. Inside of there is also a whole bunch of Carcinos in there as well. But if you want the easiest way of getting Carcinos, this one right here is it. Alright, once you get high enough level that you can actually start looting a whole bunch of loot, well, you're going to want more loot. And what does Ragnarok have in spades? Well, it has loot. A lot of loot. All right, so not only do you have all of the loot that's coming down around you as well, there is also a loot cave inside of here that right here on the mountain side, right here at 31.3, 37.4, and this right here actually leads to the first mini boss of the map, the Broodmother Ice Queen. Now, if you fly deep inside of here, you will come along inside of here where there's a whole bunch of bears and a whole bunch of more crystals and gems, and you will see right here there is loot right there, and then there's 5 loot drops in here to begin with. One straight to the left as soon as you come in, one directly below you as soon as you come in, one up here to the right as soon as you come in, right there, and then also another one back here on the left, right there, and then another one tucked away back here in this back corner right there. And the loot that you can get out of here is actually pretty good. So yeah, I would make sure that you keep an eye on this cave, and it respawns about once every 30 minutes. It's actually really, really good. All right, so that's pretty much just about everything that you need to know to get started on Ark Ragnarok Ascended. There's a bunch of cool stuff to be found on here, but this is the basics on where to find everything that you need and how to get started. So also, if you're looking for good base locations, I have videos on those as well, and I will leave those linked down below. If you're looking for really good single-player settings, as to where you can put either on your server or on your single player, then I will also leave that link down below. So hey, you know what? I hope this video helps you out. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Phlinger. Take it easy, everybody. Enjoy Ragnarok. It's one heck of a map.